Good.
Yeah.
We could do church. I gotta stay at the church.
Yeah.
We should go to musician and have a party. The band course.
I see it now, but when I read the agenda after they sent it.
So the bar, the church.
Nope. Yeah.
Here we
And,
go.
oh my God.
We're just checking that mission control. Yeah.
So. Yeah, sounds like the.
Oh
my God.
Where's that coming from? Where are you? Just checking the mission control.
A for mission. So.
No pressure.
Yeah. Right, let's go with this, I think, it's not here, feedback and by the, I think we should be able to.
All right. So it is 6:02 p.m. I'd like to call to order the February 12th Jamestown School Committee meeting. See you've all already risen, but before that, we do roll call. Allison, can you just note for the minutes that all 5 school committee members are present? And thank you so much to our volunteers. Whenever you are ready, you lead us in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And who can I thank for volunteering? Toby and Ben, thank you
Thank you, guys.
very much. First is student recognitions. So over to our music department. As long as you speak into the microphone, that's really all we care.
Hello. Eric Kaufman, I'm a music teacher at Broad School, and this is Erin Presto, music teacher at Melrose, and we're here today, very nice note, to acknowledge some outstanding students who have made All-State Festival. All-State Festival, there's 2 different ones. I'm going to talk about the junior and senior All-State Festival, which is basically junior is 7th through 9th grade students, and the senior is from 10th through 12th. In my school, we have 7th and 8th graders. And then there's an elementary All-State as well, which is some of our school too, which is the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. So that's why we're both here. Students can audition for band or orchestra or for chorus. And we have a whole bunch of different students doing different things, and we're so proud of you. They have to audition on a piece of music, they learn the piece of music, and then after they learn the piece of music, they have to go and audition in front of a judge, and then they get ranked. And this is for the older groups. And based on their rank, depends on whether or not they get selected to an ensemble or orchestra, band, chorus. Not easy to make it. It's such an honor. We're super proud of these students. I'm just gonna call your names, and if you could come up and run the certificate.
1 second to stop it. Can we have somebody? Yeah, thanks.
Our first certificate is Sasha Minchuk, who made the All-State Band on flute. The next student we'd like to recognize is Kate Ronneler, who made trumpet on the All-State Jazz Band, which is gonna go. The next student that we're gonna recognize is Juliet Charest, who made the All-State Treble Chorus as a soprano. And the last student that made junior All-State in our school was Abigail on timpani for the All-State Orchestra. That was very cool. We have one student doing orchestra, we have one student doing jazz band, we have one student doing chorus, and we have one student doing band. And they all are at different times. And they're performing at different times.
Yeah, they're all different things in
Yeah.
market. You want, I can.
Well, she can tell you later when she comes up, but they're all at different times and they're all great concerts. And they're all at different locations, right?
So, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so. All right, and I hope that you guys go and support these students when they perform. It's really a wonderful thing. I just can't tell you how proud I am of those students. So just give them another round of applause. We also have some of my students have gone on to do awesome things in high school, and they're still making all-state ensembles, and even in the senior all-state groups. And one I see right here is Jack Charest, who made the senior band on timpani. Oh, yeah. And also, Jack Charest got placed first in the state on timpani, so he didn't just get in, he got first. And I don't know who else is here, but I would like to just recognize these high school students who've made all-state ensembles. One is Ann Smith, who made all-state orchestra on violin.
I believe she was also in first schools.
Yes, she was. Yes. Awesome. And then we have Matthew Goodberg, who made junior all-state. He's in his 9th grade year, and I was hoping I would see him. He was also first in the state in alto sax in the band. We have Olivia Warlock, who made all-state mixed chorus. That's the senior all-state chorus. And Jack was also the senior band. And then Ruby Starr, who also made the treble senior treble chorus.
So we're lucky that we have a little bit for elementary students to try out. It's a great stepping stone before they try things for junior and senior all-state. Right now, we just have an elementary chorus option for all-state, and it is available to 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. And it works a little bit differently. Every music teacher has more flexibility to do their own kind of audition because they have to rank their students. And then they send that to RIMIA, and then RIMIA lets us know how many are accepted because they do allow an equal number from every school that sends nominations, which is very cool. So that's why it's a little bit different. And this year, they were able to accept 4 from each school. And then while I have this up, I was gonna give you the dates for some of these concerts. So the All-State Guitar Concert is March 8th. Let's see, the All-State Elementary concert is March 14th at Edwards Hall at URI. That's a little different for us, but it's closer for us in this area. And then we have the Junior All-State Chorus concert is out also at Edwards Hall at URI on March 15th. And then the Junior All-State Band and Orchestra concert at 4 o'clock on the 15th at Edwards Hall. Then we have Junior and Senior All-State Jazz concert is on March 18th. And then the Senior All-State Band is. I just want to give you these dates. Senior All-State Band and Orchestra is on March 22nd at Betts. Senior All-State Chorus is also on the 22nd in the afternoon at Betts. And that's senior orchestras. See, and that's.
And if you want any of these days, just.
Yes. And so what they've done is that senior groups are performing at Betts and the junior and the elementary groups are at York. Okay, so for elementary students, should I start with Melrose?
Yes.
Okay. They're all fourth graders. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, so then we can stay. First, Jasper Alsop. Sadie Benda. Abigail Chapman. And Sydney Tashi. Hold on for a second.
Should they stand it?
Okay.
I'm in the concert.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You want to stay for fifth and sixth grade too, Jasper?
And for our fifth and sixth grade students for All State Elementary Chorus, Ben Brown. Ansel Flaherty, who's in fifth grade. Anthony Leonard, fifth grade 5. Congratulations. And we also have Brennan Smith. Okay, and that's all of the students I have today for this. Yeah, you want to?
If you don't mind.
Switch it, switch it.
Squeeze together.
Push it, good smile. You'll see this.
Congratulations, everybody. That's such an amazing accomplishment. You should all be very, very proud of yourselves. And parents, thank you so much for letting them practice. I know that that's something that they have to do regularly in order to be musicians. So I can only imagine that the beginning is bumpy. So thank you.
We had one performance because I thought I can't come to the school committee without a little music. And I asked Kate, she would play her trump for us because she's a little jazz piece. That would be nice. Kate, would you come up and play for us? Give her a round of applause.
Let me just also just quickly, hopefully everyone here, Mrs. Preston and Mrs. Kaufman did such a fantastic job. I just want to make sure that you recognize, I know Mrs. Kaufman made a tremendous impact on my family and my kids, so hopefully everyone could just give a thank you to.
You know, I'm sure. All excited to stay the rest of this meeting. But if you're not, this is your time. Go home and have dinner and do your homework and get in your practice. Don't
Thank
stop.
you.
I'll wait before I move on.
That was great on the jumping.
Yeah, you did a great job.
I did it.
You guys can definitely go home if you want. You know, I mean, you can stay, but like, we were gonna go into like budgets and you wanna stay? You do? Okay, all right.
That was really great. I love the improv.
Bye. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much
Bye,
for
bye, guys.
bringing your students by. Oh, you don't So for those of you who have stayed, you will not take it personally if at any point during the meeting decides that you're gonna get up and go, okay? Next item on the agenda is public forum. In public here, so I know some of you are here for a civics assignment, but if there's anyone here who would like to address the committee, voice for change. Just state your name and address for us. My name is Elizabeth Champagne. Is that out of place?
My name is Elizabeth Champagne, 432 Sandham, Jamestown. Unfortunately, I didn't prepare you as some of you did, but I'm here, regarding the concern of keeping 3 fifth grade classrooms booked at just a little quick thing, we have a very boy-heavy group, as most of us know, my boy is contributing to the problem as well. And I just can't imagine going into 5th grade and having 2 maxed out classrooms. They're in lesson stage. That being said, hopefully we can prepare classrooms. That's all. Thank you.
Just so you know, we are not allowed to respond to people who address the committee, so if we just say thank you and move on, it's not because we don't hear what's in the stuff.
Good evening. I speak to speak. And they are adding additional hospitals. The Jamestown Press was regarding 6.7 budget, and that our stated deployment lost and sustained from school spiritual. Although the numbers may be decreasing overall, this is not the case. In previous year, in 2021, there were 14 kindergartens. 2022, we had 43 first graders divided by 3 classes. 2023, 45 7th graders in 2 classes. 2024, 46 third graders divided by 3 classrooms. In 2025, we now have 47 children. Again, divided by 3 classrooms. So as you can see, class the exception, and the numbers are actually trending up. This class is an anomaly, and I think we have COVID to think that. Parents were hesitant to send their kids to kindergarten during COVID, and some put it off a year because of that. Because COVID was global, this class is likely to have more military students. Now 2 years ago, many of us were in the same room to share our concerns with our large class size. For our then second graders, my daughter's classroom finished ways. She come home in tears and be frustrated, and she felt like all behind. And I'm grateful that the school committee, they heard our concerns and took action. For the last 2 consecutive years, our kids. Daughters, private. But I wanted to continue. Every student study I've come across overwhelmingly demonstrates that smaller class sizes produce successful students, higher test scores, fewer behavioral issues, and engaged in pro-social behavior, allowing teachers to devote more time to instruction, less control. The American Federation of Teachers suggests schools between class sizes between 15 and 19 students. Our kids will be looking at 23 and 24 students per classroom, and can over this recommendation. Additionally, their first year of middle school. We can limit the challenges by adding additional classrooms. Seeing the outcome of larger classes than just before. Please take our concerns to heart and improve with their classroom.
Thank you.
Everyone, my name is Cassie Earl. I'm at 710 Screech. I am also a parent of 8th grade, 4th grade students. And in my short speech, I just want to say thank you. Years ago, I was supposed to sizes after the experience in 7th grade. And again, thank you for that great success so far, but going into transition into 5th grade. Having the smaller class sizes for classes improved better than the other traditional James class sizes. So, we greatly appreciate the past. Thank you again for for class sizes. Moving on to everything.
Bear with me.
So my name is Jen and I am a girl at Melrose in 4th grade. But and for everybody. One is neurodiverse. I'm also a pediatric neurologist and I director of research where I conduct neuropsych research for kids development. Example, academic, so I'm sharing that, but I'm coming at this from parent lens as well as finding neuro. Also recently had the opportunity to attend the strategic plan as well as on what's important to parents and students. One thing that I've come to realize is that parents enjoy the accessibility of their teachers and children feel helped by their teachers. Research has shown that the short-term declines, academic performance, and productions, and people wanting to teach
These effects are not universal, but they are measurable. One of the most important buffers against decline is making sure the small are small so that students have opportunities to connect with their team. I'm also concerned about neurodiverse learners, ADHD, learning disabilities, autism. Those are the kids I see. And I want to make sure that they feel well. And we know the transition to middle school is a challenging one for everyone. That's a universal time. Middle school is the worst for a lot of kids as they develop, particularly for neurodiverse kids for some reason. So I'm thinking about the timing of this transition, also with the additional classroom. So from that perspective, I want to adding her classroom next year. Next year.
Hello, Richard from Christian. I was just going to first, secretaries here for our yes, thank you for this. Then
Thank you all. Last thing to general. Sent them. 2.1 little minutes from January 26th. And 2.2 in bills, January 6th.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Josh. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Consent agenda carries. And that brings us to item number 3 on the agenda, which is the budget. There's a discussion and possible votes. Mr. Rowling, have any additional questions come forth this week that we addressed? No presentations. Yeah.
Are we open to this? Guess it makes sense to discuss the issue for teacher in 5th grade. I know it was a question we got via email as well. I know that it's a parent advocates. Want to just thank everybody for coming out tonight. We have 2 parents and 5th graders for next year here too. So Mr. Evans, if I could ask for your take on this. I know you have
I'm gonna actually, before you give your take. No. What is the current enrollment for next year in this?
So it's projected to exceed 47 because we just moved kids. So right now, what I know is 5 military. That's important. This week I was in contact with that puts that at 43. That's it's February. So this is 2 weeks ago when we talked about this. I wish I had to call because I can confidently say with adding a TA, and one thing I would say is TAs are incredible. You go through the school building and you see what they're doing. They're having small groups of kids. So if you have 2 teachers, you have a TA, and some special educators, this is kind of my thought of why two sections. So when I think about also the idea of stability, in the past 2 years, we've had and this DeRozier's getting into a groove of what the teaching. That breaks down for a year. There's a way that I'm thinking about as far as this. For kids in a classroom, the ability to learn. I read that come from and also intervening, so all that training, that comes into what I was thinking. Again, I'm confident with you heard about what I know though how long competitions so that for the sections that do well. I don't know the fourth graders as well. I know it's provided teams things that's what I need. Years question. I just don't know 5 or 4. Yeah. So
It is or it isn't.
it is not, it was not, that's how it's communicated. I don't know that personally when those things. So that too is, however, I do want to make sure that parents know that I am open to anything that can I decide. I think that our teachers could change and do whatever really well. I know these things are awesome. And just here, but they're incredible. So whatever you decide to do, we'll do it well, bring it great. So that's something that I'm sure parents, you guys, there's sections, 2 sections. I would say it's 3 sections for today.
So and just for clarity, can you explain what the current plan that you presented to us weeks ago was?
So the current plan right now is that there will be pretty much the same schedule, very much the same as Fernando teaches. Social studies and writing and ELA. Roger teaches them math, is science. There's also other classes as well, those class. But then in addition to that, there's a special educator, primarily in 5th grade. There are some other responsibilities for that special educator because we have used special. So, but she's primarily in 5th grade. And then there would be dedicated, I think this is important, that it's dedicated. Team. The other thing that we do have is we do a 5th, 6th team, so that right presently our situations we have grade level TA that runs between 7 and 8, that runs between 9. So there's it stays where it is, say 40, whatever, about 44, right? I had 21 in the past. 5th grade over higher. So I can kind of say I feel good about that. Hard part again, you know, what it looks like. And I will say that's something that gives me some anxiety because if this happens in July, now everyone's upended. But okay, that's something to think about. I have had conversations with David about should we have that in case that really happened. We always so that's was kind of my thinking about too with the dedicated TA. The dedicated TA, essentially 2 people in the classroom all times. It's large class.
Yeah.
From a ratio perspective.
So just to be clear then, so classes, Ms. Bernardo, Mr. Rochers. There's one dedicated special educator.
There's one dedication. What we have in special ed is there is some shared responsibilities. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. These special educators working most of those 4 grades. So primarily it's a 7th and 8th grade special educator and 5th grade. There are some responsibilities that grade special educator. This year's some 5th and 8th grades. So that could change, it might not necessarily be there, it all depends on the needs of the student. So as students leave, you jumping around the school, it's supposed to be now looking at special ed caseload. And it looks be written out one, but I know that some things that will get, say, easier, less, challenging. That's,
So there is a dedicated fifth grade special educator, but
Yeah.
who might have. some
right, and I, you know, I hate to dedicate straight to a grade level because the law is kind of flexing.
And then there's a dedicated TA for the fifth grade,
That
and
is-
that's removed in the
That's,
budget.
that's through the budget, and then do a fifth, sixth grade T, yeah. Then we also have 17, so we use grade level TAs, with a lot of needs, 7 for them. Come in. And you can see that doing a lot of great things. Emotional needs, something. Delivering curriculum, small group. Small groups and doing things. So, again, I wanna say that's that. You can do anything. But the decision is. Do it, like I said, do it well. I just wanna at least let you know what I was thinking, as far in terms of this budget, I really do. Appreciate it. And, that was my decision.
One question.
Yeah, sure.
If we ended up with the need for 3 classroom teachers to move forward with that, would you also need TA?
No, I wouldn't do. Is that you're really looking at classrooms. And that's something else that I think about too, I think there's a, I think it's these ones that is, particularly with a PE or something, that are certain classes that. There's ways that we can. As well, but no, I don't think.
So, Mr. Evans, there is contingency budget, which that contingency, I think, there's the potential of adding teacher. You don't have a crystal ball, is there, you know, if during the summer you end up getting a lot more military enrollments, is there kind of a number that you're thinking of when we can use that contingency? Because we can, from a budget standpoint, there's an option there to actually.
To go to the number in mind, I do go back and look at this. Because I think we had numbers as 27, that's for that was in salary. That's so if you have a group of students that are. Say like more or less yeah, I think there's a part of also. It's as well. But so I don't really have the number, I think there comes a point where it's like, right, it's.
Does anyone ask for fourth grade teacher?
So, yes, I know I spoke to Ms. Roman. So we've got. I can't remember exactly, I feel like they probably would. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I was supposed to throw what they do. So I do think that we should. Sure. But like I said, I will do anything to do about. I do feel right now, notice where they are now, I'm expecting. That's
My point of view, there's budget flexibility and Jim Littlefield sits behind the scenes and is incredibly valuable and does such a great job, but there's budget flexibility in a current to add an additional teacher, and especially with the flexibility of not needing that TA down the road. Is there timing that we would have to make a decision of when to add that?
That's something to think about, because like I said, to me, it does produce anxiety, but it doesn't just be anxiety, but I'm thinking about the teachers in preparation. Like to know what they're doing, their partner is, and then that's the other thing you think about again, about that stability, having a great team. Then you're adding new element, and then you're also adding who's teaching, but how's it gonna work this year? In 2 years, it's a structure that's been working well. They know what to expect. So that's something I can talk about.
So 2 years, we have 2 classes, so that means prior to the 2023-24 school year, there were classes.
It's always been three, like, I've always been three sections. So, 2 years, but then started.
So just back to Christian's point, which he made, I think this does really have a budget impact, right? That, in other words, the money's already in the contingency. So whether we decided right now to do the third classroom or not, the budget approval doesn't change. Is that fair to say? You would just shift the money out of the contingency, which would approve kind of case, especially with the.
There's money in the contingency to cover if there's a delta with it.
Right, say there's a delta with the TA, an extra 30 to whatever it may be, that's just coming out of the contingency. We're not asking the town for more money, we're not appropriating more funds, so I don't know if that really actually has a budget impact at all, I think it's really more programmatic.
We just get some
Decision.
confirmation from Ms. Middlefield that we are correct in assuming, I mean, I'm looking at the number and I know what I make as a teacher and based on what's in the contingency, I'm fairly confident that we have the funds, but I would love to get it officially on record.
I think I've thought about this. If the committee decides tonight that they definitely want third teacher, okay, then I think about the other grades that we're watching. And I know that we could do either story, if you know for sure that you want third teacher in the grade, I would suggest that we look at those numbers to see if we wanna win that fifth grade teacher, we have the TA, and then think about, you know, what would we do if another grade was cusping? Because we've been talking about kindergarten being, you know, cusping as well. We, you know, thinking kind of like both ways, then, you know, we have to think what it will be, and, what funds we will need to do.
I number one, tell you guys how to staff the buildings, that's something that I definitely have stayed out of in my time on this committee. But if we are in a scenario where, let's say, this, so we approve this budget tonight, right, as it is, and then we end up in a situation in May where the numbers would warrant a third teacher at fifth grade and a third kindergarten. Do we have enough funds in the contingency for that?
Well, because there are several things in the contingency that are all up in the air, there's a possibility that we do. Possibly, you know, and how, so the contract. I mean, there's, and where Blue Cross rates. Transportation, we have a lot of unknowns in this budget. So, worst case scenario is that, you know, we come to you and you look at other items that are off here in our budget, or we can ask expected and go. But if you're positive tonight, like to have a fifth grade teacher, I think it warrants a conversation about what would we do. It was the third. I mean, I did look at the numbers today, it's all very close, but again, I don't know the unknowns. There's a possibility. But either way, warranted fifth grade. Current classrooms. Be able to. And reduce it. I know that's not an exact number, if you wanted to be sure tonight that there is 100% possibility that this could be a third, fifth grade classroom. I would make suggestions to that would increase the budget some. You know for sure what you want to do. Just that. Again, this decision that was budget that came before you, that you have a third, fifth grade classroom, it's not a budgetary decision, it's an educational decision. So any way you want to go, as Nate said, it's perfectly fine, education and budgetary. Just,
I don't wanna make the educational decision, but I wanna make sure that if we do make a budget decision, we are planning for what could be worst, not to additional classes at both.
I'm just curious, like this. Sounds okay. And this, alleviate on the stress, I'm sure you have in that. Of the downward. Passing.
I think as Nate said, it's not a strict number we have said for that. You know, it depends on, you know, if the student comes in, you know, with a, you know, or unaware, we have a heavy IEP. And, you know, we have to look at, you know, where's that, where are those levels at? So, again, it's not. I don't know if we have a direct number, you know, it gets to this number, it tips.
So can I just reframe what you said to make sure I understand? So what I think we have is definitely contingency in the for a fifth grade, third grade classroom. Fifth grade, third classroom, you need to go that route, that's in that, right, that's. But we might need to add actually for a kindergarten.
Or, I mean, like last year, we said, you know, there's running budget in case any grade goes over last year having. And we're able to do that in July, early enough to, you know, the numbers started to get closer, there could have been more added, and honestly, some should have dropped out, deciding, you know, in early July. That, you know, we're gonna go with that extra class to get the teacher in place, to get the curriculum in place, to get the room in place. And I'm sure we would do the same this year.
We would never be in a position. We would be making a decision between whether we had fifth grade. We would have to get the rooms and paper systems to figure out who gets the third ones.
And again, if you wanna be absolutely positively sure, I can run some numbers and suggest a certain money. But given that the contingency is also an estimate, it's an estimate of what Blue Cross might, what the transportation might be, what the contract negotiations would cost would be for the union teachers. So there's a lot in there, and it's, you know, it could go either way.
I would like the budget to have contingency for the third, June and fifth grade. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about stability, it seems to me that you wanna know. To Josh's point, stability is deciding in July, right, it's deciding now for your existing teacher and new teacher. Or, if you decide to go that route, but sort of to Christine's point, the programmatic side, leave that entirely in your hands. But I would like to see the budget be carried.
So, does that mean asking Jane to run the numbers again to, and when you're saying sure, right, it's a contingency, right? So if the numbers go down for some reason in fifth grade, right, we don't have to spend that contingency. If they go up, so the contingency still, so I'm not sure.
Am I right in hearing you say that you would think that to do that right, you need to add some X number to the contingency to make sure that both grades could be covered if they, is it both custody?
They're both custody, but
Right.
again, we also have a lot of unknowns about projected. On the, you know, on the survey.
I get it, so
So enough, so depending on how things come in, it could be enough. Again, I wish I had a crystal ball, someone to know exactly how all these,
when you're mentioning the risk that we might not have enough coverage to move forward with the budget as it is, we need to reclassify both of those as a risk.
get you better.
Again, I think that's what, and so if you mentioned, I think,
So you would like to definitely budget for two teachers and the amount of money that you know, estimating for the contracts, I can do that. Tonight. That if, in that way you're sure to have enough.
You can give us that number tonight.
So I do, just to understand what you're saying, guys.
So I can give you a number that would take out the TA and add in the teacher, and then keep the contingency money for a full other teacher as well as all the other estimates that are there. So I can give that number for you and suggest it to you, and if you'd like to make a motion, we can do that and budget done.
Sorry for not having this off the top of my head. When do we have to vote on this, on the budget?
We have, next meeting, if we need it, is the 6th. And if that is the one. The March, first is when we have to.
So we do potentially have one more meeting.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. But if you're sure tonight that you'd like to make sure that there's definitely enough money for the 2 teachers. We can do that, and if we find out some answer between now and the time that we name the town, or before the town's budget estimate, we can say that, you know, a Blue Cross rate came in lower and we can reduce by that amount, like we still have an opportunity to reduce, we can't add more between now and town, but we could reduce more if we find out that we have bus bid or we have the Blue Cross rates, and we can make adjustments down to still be fiscally responsible and how do we do that?
Right now, our contingency sits at $20,000.
So what I would be suggesting tonight is not to put the money in contingency and to put it in for the grades, just to not make that number bigger, just to say it's right, put it in contingency, it's still the same number.
As adding,
So I can do it either way. I can do it either way.
not,
Either way, it's the same number.
I know you guys look at us, but I don't wanna make the decision because it's really Dave's decision. I don't wanna. I would love to know that my 5th grader is gonna have a small class size. I'm sure that all these parents feel the same way. But at the same time, I don't think it's my role, certainly, in the school committee, to tell you how many kids you should have in the classroom.
But I think it is our responsibility
Definitely.
to make sure that the money is there, should you make that decision. So. You say that in the microphone, because I have a funny feeling there might be some parents watching this.
If we, my big concern is breakdown. Just a law, I don't know what's there, but I look at the incoming, when I look historically at different grade levels, it could be. Well, projections from last year, grade levels that hit 3, 7, that 2. So, but there is that possibility where. Kids that come in, and that's it, in which case, use more appropriate. What happens when it's a question, you are right for stability? You asked about the date, for me, it's like, the sooner I know that, the better it is waiting that part of the night. First, I mean, things lives.
Can I just solidify that? I think what you said. Is what you're saying, you would run the numbers differently if we were tonight 100% sure that we wanted 3 teachers. What Mr. Edmonds is saying is tonight, as the principal of the school, he does not think he needs 3 teachers next year. If he does need 3 teachers in 5th grade next year, we have a contingency that we also don't have a crystal ball with, but we think should be able to cover that 3rd teacher if we have the kids, right?
Yes. Very confident about. They have 2 grades, being a teacher, and I don't have a crystal ball as to who a new teacher would be, you know what I mean, I don't know what step that they would be on. Because they're being movement, so, you know, I could budget high teacher, low teacher, middle teacher, so I really believe that what we have in budget
To repeat what you said, the same thing applies for Blue Cross and transportation, right? There's. So do, from my point. Passing the budget versus how many teachers we're going. There is comfort that we think that if Mr. Edmonds thinks that he needs to add a third teacher, we can cover it with the budget as it's currently proposed.
Correct. Okay, shouldn't like reach you. The budget's like.
Sorry, I just got really confused.
No, so we're at the point where either table this to the 26th or we're gonna.
So let me just
ask you to vote on budgets.
We're not gonna add a third teacher into the budget, but I think at least I would like to. Do send it to me, we wanna make sure we have resources in place to do it. You brought up this problem with must be kindergarten. Do we not need to worry about that anymore? I think you're saying now, you can cover what.
So because we have the teacher. In the contingency, but we also have the TA in the regular budget. Do we need both? And possible savings with the other contract negotiations. Blue Cross, we are budgeting, high, or what they've projected. 10% lower, that's the savings. So I'm confident that if you need 2 teachers, we will also.
And I just want to point out, that is the third time she said it. I did specifically ask that first out and I did write it down 3 times.
Double checking, it's perfectly fine.
But I think that means we're back to where we're at the beginning, which is that. That's the budget cover.
I know that there's legalese in wording, so before you settle in and get comfortable, if you wanted to bring that up here.
We still are seeing another budget model that have ability to it. I don't see, I mean, from my point of view, we have 2 opinions of people that we trust, right, with the principal and from our finance director. But if you want to see other finance, that's reasonable too. And again, this is a budget conversation more than how many teachers in 5th grade.
Right.
So I appreciate the tension of not knowing some of these future costs. Therefore, it's right.
But that said, I'd like to make a motion to FY 27 budget as presented in the amount of $16,781,437, out appropriation of $15,035,936, which is an increase $271,660 or 1.8%.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Carries. Thank you. Now that was a lot of questions to the John Power. That moves us on to item number 4, which is the reports. We'll start with the superintendent report.
So far, I think our first. Start all of. That's off. The what I understand the state. Awesome. First year. Notes. See why there, I won't say it publicly. Confidential. But, there was also on the. I'm sorry, the evening. Yes.
Yes, and that's very helpful, it's just, Commission.
District updates. Actually. So been 5 days, also, and today, I don't know, on class. I think, what's that position? Alright, and another, one recognized on hand, is, launched, recognized on. Well, 5. Whole weekend. Lost 96 to 6%. Well, for home, so that is the 3rd time this year that lawn has been recognized. To give you a strategic plan update, did our final working session last night. Our group review, trying to meet that on top of the next steps, results in smart goals. Next steps, all information was given last night. The school contact party next steps. I want to give, I think, go one here, I think, on the left, I'll give kudos to, but I mean, hashtag meetings started back in early. We told 3 board positions each time. It's those stakeholders, students, teachers, principals, district staff, school committee members, parents, and they did lots of great work. Progress toward our student achievement goals, district-wide team analysis. Our proficiency goal was our students. At above grade level, so again exceeding our target. That's an increase from 7% efficiency. All growth targets. Our students have already met the typical growth. Stretch earning 100%, so achieve stretch growth. While this is strong in results, it's needed to reach the 57% target. In terms of our special education subgroup analysis, which are targeting 75% efficiency. So some nasty goal of 76% of the special education subgroup, demonstrating real deep as of mid-year. In terms of stretch growth, 40% starts targeting. That's progress to disclosures, but Melrose is 38%. So we growth already achieved in the stretch. Addition, growth 50% at mid-year, and launch 90% of students who had typical growth achieving stretch growth, and roughly halfway into
But, efficiency wanted with the lots of letters. Summary, as a district, we are ahead of schedule for primary. Population. It's all.
Thank you. Next are principals reports.
Here, your little newsletter. I went with I so I focused, I usually like to give you a lot of data, but I knew David was giving you data this time. And so I wanted to focus on all the awesome fun things that are going on at Malware that have gone on since the year started. I think I could have even gone back to November and December, but I picked some pretty significant ones that a lot of parents attend. So we had a math carnival, which was held on January 15th. And Jen Kittredge and Amy Simos, our math interventionists, dreamed this up. And it was absolutely phenomenal. We had over 200. I couldn't even count the number of families that were there. I started to get worried at one point that we might be over, and I double checked how many people could be in that room, and we were fine. But it was very crowded. It was absolutely amazing. Every student and family was given a passport, and they took a journey through all the events. The passport was leveled by ski slope things, so it had triangles and blue diamonds, and each of the students could work with their parent to decide which version of the game they could play and which was appropriate for them. There were whole families there that were doing different versions, and everybody left with smiles. So that was a great plan on refining, Jen. And I don't know that we need to refine that much, but and do it again next year. Always thank the PTO. Thank you to the PTO for helping to fund this and buy some supplies. And I should say also thank you to Amy Simos' husband, who didn't get paid for anything, but he, if you can see, I think if you go on the Facebook page, there's some different games that he actually built himself along with his wife. And so thank you to their family to create things. We also, as you know, we've been working through setting up our STEAM lab and the money that we got from the RIDE technology grant. Some of the things that Peter was able to purchase, some of the furniture that we were able to purchase was a little less expensive. That's never happened really. And some of the things that technology wise, we ended up with a little bit of a surplus and we were able to buy. It was a technology grant, so it had to be focused on technology. And we're able to get another smart board that we're going to use in the lower grades. And in preparation for that, we did some training. Will Hamilton Glenn, who's our integration specialist, completed some smart board training for teachers in grades 1 and 2 this week. And they got a chance to really dig in and see how it can be useful to their students. And then simultaneously that same day, we had a Lumio consultant work with 3rd and 4th grade teachers. Definitely moving forward in terms of technology. We also had an artist in residence. Her name is Sarah, I hope I say her last name right, Elenbrand. And she came in, and this was brought to us from Charlene Tuttle and also funded by the PTO. She did a project called Wrapped in Nature with our 2nd grade students, and the students created wearable natural tapestries that they worked on, and then they will be sharing those tapestries at our morning meeting. See, they used all natural products. It's a lot of fun. We also had some very festive preschoolers walking the halls this week, who had worked very diligently on flags of flags of the many nations that are at the Olympics, and they marched through the halls with their flags held high. It's a way to welcome the Olympics. So you see a picture of our preschoolers with their flags all and their t-shirts dressed with each of their countries. Thank you to Miss Boring and to that team. Miss Boring does a really amazing job. Our preschool is such an integral part of our elementary school, and the kids really love it. Get to associate with the bigger kids. It's just nice. Our amazing teacher, Erica Conley, Erin Ashby left, hosted her first family audition. Hosted the first family art of the year. Some of the new parents that had never seen an art night at Melrose, I think they just stood there with their mouths open. And when I came anywhere near them, the first thing they said was, "You do this all the time?" I mean, that's how amazing the night is, and you can see a quick little picture of some of our younger students. Again, over 200 people.
Wait until they see the arch.
Right? I did say that. We had some really cool winter enrichments that started this year too. We have creative clubs and activities. We have a thing called Creative Kids that Mr. Capaldi is doing. Builders Club, which was again the creative mind of Amy Simos and Ashley Anston and Jen, who saw the littlest learners in our school really loving the building. And we opened up our new STEAM lab, which is almost done, to 27. It's not kindergarten, it's just first grade. It is kindergarten and first grade. 28 kindergarten and first graders with 7 different stations where they were building things and creating things. It might have been one of the coolest I've seen in a while. We also had Mini Broadway with them creating their own skits, and when I walked in that room, I've never seen so much excitement and enthusiasm. And then, of course, a Lego club, which is very popular. Floor hockey, Mr. Uchi is doing a little too much training with these students before a very important floor hockey tournament coming up tomorrow. We also have a kindness club that Teresa Colantuano is running with the help of students that asked her this friend. And then Miss Daft, Darlene Daft, is running a winter painting class. That is also here now. So lots of after school things for our Melrose students. We made it through 100 days. I take a deep breath because this felt like a long 100 days, but it's been great. I think it's the snow. This is fantastic that we have snow in New England this year, but sometimes it makes the planning for things a little trickier when it's little kids, but we made it through 100 days. We had some really old students in our room on Wednesday and lots of activities that revolved around. So many students were engaged in more STEM activities and math activities. Our annual floor hockey competition, hosted by Mr. Uchi, will take place tomorrow at every grade level. This is my favorite day of the year. So for those of you that don't know, I am a huge hockey fan. I'm not maybe as good at hockey as I love hockey, but at least I get a chance to compete against some kids that are more my level than my own age group. So it's always fun, and it's the final finale of this event is the safety patrol against teachers in the afternoon. So if anybody gets off work early and would like to see some intense competition, can't quite tell you if it's more intense for the teachers or if it's more intense for the safety patrol. But regardless, it's a lot of fun, and the teachers have not lost yet, just saying. So that is the latest over at Melrose. Please check out the Facebook page and thank you.
I had someone come up to me in town, someone without kids, and that went to the math night that said how fantastic it was and raved about it for a very long time. So yeah, congratulations on that one.
Yeah, thank you.
With the law school, what I wanted to mention, probably was seeing the kids here play, earlier, today, saying, in the recognition for great something, but, one thing that wasn't mentioned, Ms. Coffin did mention is that, she's recognized as a music teacher, but she's gonna be conducting the, Rhode Island Music Education Association Junior Honor, she's gonna be, conducting, so all the music teachers have asked her to this event, which is in May. So she's fantastic. So just having her here and also seeing the recognition for her peers is great. And it's all, and also I want to recognize Ms. Preston as well. Both of them are coming in every morning between jazz band and the vocal jazz, just hear music and then early time. Fantastic. They do great stuff for the kids. So this week we report cards go out. That was terrific. We have one change that happened this year with 5th and 6th grade. We had comments to the report cards that's been well received. I'm also starting to prepare for state testing. You mentioned the NAEP testing, so that's just something that we're selected. Seems like we're selected every year, but just 8th grade does that. So we do that very smoothly. Then later in April, May, we'll broadcast it. Science testing. Another form of assessment or risk assessment survey works that's open right now, so we'll do that with the students, various classes. The staff will do that March after school time, and then we're really encouraging all our parents to do that for those schools. It's in the Howl where they can click on, send out emails, also requests with QR codes. The more information you get, you look at that. So.
You also mentioned relationship. Some questions difficult to understand or to answer.
Sure, so
And that really helps guide their thinking, and
for those that are
people
listening,
that really help.
for those that are listening, all for quick Charlie said, there's an information sheet, because it is true that when people take it, early one to think about how it's created. Third one, middle one, that you might take as a, so I don't have an opinion about this, that's marked negatives. It'll show you guys. So it's that one's not negative. It was great to hear Ms. Rowlands in the Knowles School clubs. I was very energized after the district planning last night. Hearing all those opportunities, working Jamestown as well, both the Knowles School, but also at the law school. We added these for kids. So right now, the library public spur. We've got our open art studio with the Smith. We just started a Dungeons and Dragons Club, very popular. I know Mr. Paul Thierry came here and showed the live at lawn, so a couple updates from there. Just here maybe a couple weeks ago. The next episode is debuting tomorrow at lunch, so the kids will see the next episode from them. I got to see it today. There was a helmet one, if you remember the helmet. So that the folks from helmets.org, they were interested in, so it's up on the site, so it's kind of cool. There's another public service announcement competition for poison control, so it's part of the live at lawn episode tomorrow. Competition. Still waiting to hear about the chronic absenteeism is the one, but they're doing a great job of finding cool ways to compete, make it meaningful, but then also make it bigger. So really, really a great addition. Another great addition is we have a Community Connections Club. Ms. McIntyre is working on, the students are working on deals to connect the school and the community. That's another new one. And then actually I'm speaking with, we're in the process of doing the 5th grade writing club with Ricardo. So there's kids that have expressed that this isn't just for all levels. So we're really trying to push kids up. This is actually student driven, it's just students. So we're gonna get that started after break. And then lastly, the big one that's going to start when we come back is the improv club. So that'll start great on the Wednesday that came back. Today we had a big kickoff where the big players came in from part of the firehouse. They came, kids had a blast, it was a lot of fun. It was like, it's fast. It was a lot of fun. Looking ahead, February break, and it was, the students are excited. In March, the South grade is gonna go on a coach area, which is fantastic. Then I might have mentioned this, a week or so ago, but grade 6 is really expanding their, team perch, and they're gonna be actually a perch competition first, so that underwater will be out very people kind of pushing forward.
Thank you so much. I have a funny feeling that it's not just they're excited for February break. I'm sure the teachers are a little excited for it too. We are now up to the school committee reports, and item number 0.3.1 is CETA. We have not got this last report. Melrose School Committee.
All those teams not met, there's no meetings made. That's good.
Lawns, thing for lawn sit, in February. North Kingstown High School.
The North Kingstown School Committee has been also very busy with budget season, with the meetings since the last year. Next, the business meeting. Will be on March. We voted to approve the extension for Dr. Budo, which was a great facilities of the district. There were some academic and extracurricular highlights. There's two additional CTE pathways that have been approved. CTE program for culinary and video talk. Exciting that we're doing a lot of that. The robotics team, they qualified for the World Championships in Houston. It's very exciting. There was I will talk about the calendar for next year. So we'll begin on August. Wednesday for Thanksgiving. And today is a discussion of those. They however did proposed 6 million except for one of the big capital pieces to that relative to high school is in the roof. We push from May to October. And yes.
Facilities.
Great, so we have an exciting announcement tonight from the facilities committee. We have, I think I mentioned last time, we had been interviewing a few firms that had proposed to run our facility study, our facilities master plan. We have landed on a firm from Providence called Design Civic. Manuel Cordero is the principal. Tim Shea is on his team as a town planner. And they're working actually in partnership with Sococcio Architects, who have done a ton of work in our champions. So this is really exciting. So this will be the sort of expert team that helps us write this master plan for our buildings, both school buildings, sort of a 10+ year horizon. And they have a ton of experience working with school committees. They have Long Island work, get the list of town talks, go down that road, but they've done a ton of work in Rhode Island doing similar work. And they've already shared with us a draft engagement plan. Some of the first steps of that engagement plan are to immediately start meeting with staff members, district admins, parents and community members, with a whole calendar of focus groups and additional and whole community events. With web-based communications, newsletters, really keeping everybody abreast of this plan, and also plenty of opportunities to give feedback on what ultimately we might do with our school buildings when we think about the next level of big investments. So really excited to get that going, and I think the calendar is still a little bit fluid, but we're starting that immediately, and it'll probably go until at least September. We'll send out the dates, which is when we maybe have something final to share with the public and with the Rhode Island Department of Education to wherever.
I'll say, I really appreciate Drew's work on this, and it's important to note too. Part of the intention and part of what Civic also fed back to us is it's important to look at the schools along with the town conference. They are ways to look at population changes in the town in general. So it's not just looking at the schools in isolation, but really understanding the town comprehensive plan and getting as much feedback as we can. So it's, as Drew said, it's going to be very intentional. Everyone has as many voices as we can to look at our schools with all the dynamics that are going on. So I appreciate Drew's leadership in driving this.
Thank you. Next up is policy action earlier today. We looked at 2 draft policies that those students homelessness. And we'll be first reading at our next school committee meeting. Also look at social media use. This one left us with a lot more questions and debate, so maybe it's to be fun. Some of our questions in that one. Yeah, and so our next meeting is access to wellness.
Wellness committee has not met since the last update. We're waiting and working to schedule the next meeting.
And legislative
Also has not met yet, but we do have a meeting on January 26th with our state reps. So January, sorry.
Now. Can I just share one thing that's sort of legislative that might be of interest to folks? That there has been a lot more talk about revisiting the state funding formula. Rhode Island Foundation recently released their sort of study recommendations on how the state might fund education moving forward. So it's not clear if anything's going to change, but it sort of feels like this might be the spring and summer where that conversation begins to ramp up. And I don't think it'll ultimately impact Jamestown very much. Jamie might have information on that at a later date, but just to say that might be something legally that's for, to general somebody.
Yes, it won't impact budget that we just put on some. At least. New business for discussion and is that time of year where we reconvene the Elizabeth Jones Fund Scholarship Committee. As the chair of that committee, there is from you that I have reached out last year. We gave out scholarships. And the tradition has been that we ask parents of the prior year's recipients to serve on the committee that reads the applications when they come in. So we do have a committee. I will be on the committee, as will Lisa Tuttle, Debbie McIntyre, Emily Tambo, and Eileen Donnelly have all also agreed to serve on the committee. And then the next item that we do need to bring forth for a vote is a review of the amount and application because we always include the amount on application. So in our packet on the last page, we break down the scholarship fund has existed for about 16 years now. If you scroll to the bottom, that gives you the beginning balance that we had on July 1st of 2024. Interest earned, and then last year we did give out $8,000 in scholarships, which left us with a balance of $82,000 in the scholarship fund. In years past, we have generally approved 6,000. And last year we left the option open to go back to the school committee, ask for additional funds if it was warranted based on the applications. We saw more applications last year than we had in the 16 years that has existed. We had 13 applicants. So with that said, yes, I would like to make a motion. It would be up to $6,000 in scholarships for this year to be included on the application that we send out to our high schools. And a second.
The second, and open for discussion.
So I'm looking for, you can second, I will take your second.
So are you saying six with the option to back ask from the same situation?
Exactly.
Cause I feel good about being.
Do we have to vote to get a new motion? Okay. I believe we did.
We can still vote on a 6,000. Doesn't necessarily prohibit us from raising it, because last year I don't think we said 6,000 would be cut yet.
Last year we approved 6,000 with the caveat that it can be that. And based on the number of applications that we received, we
Okay.
definitely came back, so.
Is it predetermined how many winners will be?
No. No, some of you have. Do you have it? So I've been doing this since 2019. In 2019, we had 4 recipients. 20, we had 3. 21, we had 3. 2022, we had 1. 23, we had 3 recipients. 4, we had 3 recipients, and 25, we had.
Um, 6,000 with the option to change. I do think it's our job to be these tools, which I believe we have been. And I think that precedent of $6,000, again, the caveat makes sense to me.
I just want to make a recommendation again, I know we talked about this last year, but a 3.5% return on $89,000 is about $3,000. Just in the name of keeping the scholarship going, keeping it alive. Looks like we earned about $1,500 in interest this year, but I think we could have earned probably 3,000 or more. That's just the way that the interest rates are right now. So I would strongly recommend that we put the fund and money market account, it's around 3%.
So we did move the money last year. Did have this conversation, and if you look at the interest trends, you can see we earned significantly more interest last year than we had. The town looks at they did. I don't know if you can speak to what kind of account it was in.
But it's definitely a great start. I think it could be just big environments.
Maybe there has to be a little space next time.
Just want to point out that we moved the money and used. And this dollar amount shows balances. It's only the interest. old interest plus. So you're gonna see a much bigger than next year.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't have today's number, or that's just the audit number from even other issues.
So it was moved halfway through the year.
It's.
So that explains it.
I should see it much bigger than January or February.
So with that, we have a motion to $6,000 for the Missing Stone Fund scholarship. With the option to come back to the committee and request more. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Alright, so the motion carries.
So then you wanted to add.
If we can come back to the committee and ask.
Second. Who made the motion? Second.
The original motion was made by me. It was seconded.
This is the fun part to laugh at.
I don't think it's a different motion.
So Christine made the motion, made the modified. Seconded.
It's not it's been modified. We're just saying that we would be able to come back to the committee like we do. Like we did last time. Yeah. I made the motion. Drew seconded. We opened it up for discussion. And we all unanimously approved. You're gonna love this next one's gonna be nice and easy. Item
Motion to return.
I didn't even get it out of the mouth, Chris. Now they're fighting to second, and I heard Lisa first, so we're gonna say Lisa seconded it. All those in favor? As the budget passed this evening, the tentative meeting, which is on the calendar for Thursday, February 26th, is not needed, which means we will reconvene as a committee on Thursday, March 12th at 6 p.m. here in Town Hall. Everybody enjoy your break next week. You all deserve it.